Yo, what's poppin', everyone? What's going on, YouTube world? Everyone out there, this is your boy, Corey, aka Valedictorian. This is head of class sessions, and I waited till I was totally comfortable. It's the later on in the evening. I wanted to speak about this topic. Excuse me. It's very, uh, it's a divisive. It is a very divisive subject. It can be. Um, the way I'm going to approach it before I announce what it is. I'm going to approach it from the perspective of looking from outside the box. I'm not. This is not going to be your normal thing because I believe with this subject, a lot of people are just programmed to believe a certain way or to do the whole size thing and absolute. The type, the title of the session. We're going to talk about stepfathers, stepmothers, step parenting as a whole. Okay. When I speak, now this is, I'm going to get this disclaimer out right now. When I speak about this topic, I'm speaking to both genders. Okay? I know there's a lot of divisive stuff out there, where it's like, either man bashing or putting down women or, different. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to give you, I feel like a lot of people, you guys are so wired into the matrix. You know what I'm saying? You're so wired in, programmed to the whole matrix. I'm here to give you freedom. Okay, it's in a perspective, a different perspective, fresh one. Okay, all right. So with step parents, okay, I believe that throughout the years, whether however the situation is, whether it's a single male with a female who has kids, or if it's a single female with a man who has kids from another relationship, whatever, or if it's two single people with children coming together as a blended family. I believe that throughout the years, I'm just going to call a spade. We have been programmed to look at the situations of, one person being, in a relationship with someone else who has children with someone else. Okay, there's always this negative connotation and dynamic, which I'm not even going to dig into like the whole right on, I'm just going to say this. I believe the hugest mistake that people have done, I think of, especially within my culture, within my race, okay, African Americans, right? There's always been this negative connotation when it comes to, a family that has, step parent in it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times it's where people just assume a lot of things or assume the worst, especially if it's certain dynamics. Especially if when it's a single mom, you got this whole thing where you have a negative connotation from the other side or from the outside, looking in. Flip that. There's always a negative connotation a lot of times when it's a single male with kids, right? But that's more rare. I mean, I guess in the number of it, but just there's it's kind of a thing. If you're coming into a situation where you're wanting to date someone, or if you're trying to get a relationship with someone and you already have kids from another relationship, um, the dynamics, yes, they're there to where it could be negative, but it also could be positive. And I think that's the biggest thing that we've done is we looked at step parentings or situations that create step parents or single mom, single dad, all that. We've created such absolutes. Like we look at it in absolute. It's either wrong or it's right, or it's either bad. It can only be bad. Like there are different situations that happen when it comes to people either becoming a step parent or situations that will you know you have your kids with you, or if you have if a woman has her kids and she has to leave his relationship, or vice versa, if the man wants to leave and he wants to take his kids and everything. Relationships are different. People have different situations. So with that being said, I believe that we're too complex of human beings, and this life is not so static as we would believe. Um, I think that a lot of people, if they would just kind of look at it from the outside in, um, I would think that you know it's all up to the people who are involved, or it's all up to those two adults who may have children from another relationship or may have children, they're coming in with children each side, however the case may be. I just believe that this whole rhetoric that people always try to say that we have to, you know, guard against, single mothers and they're bad, and or dads who, it's always like, dads who have children. Those are like immediate. I mean, not all the time, but I believe like for a lot of women, those are like immediate red flags. Like they're gonna be asking questions. They want to know what's going on with the previous. It makes them dig. But then a lot of times you have situations where it may be two people who have their children and they meet, and then everything is just where it's just seamless. Um, Now the guys that want to keep the rhetoric up, their immediate thing will be like, well, that's just a minority. Exceptions don't make the rule, and yeah, you are they're definitely correct. But I would just want to force you guys just to think one moment of the factors involved that create these situations that could turn negative, but really all it is just two adults who as any person who has kids or not, they're living like they're not young. You know what I'm saying? Most times it's where they've may have tried with a relationship and it didn't work out, and so the kids can't just disappear. I think that's the main thing, that with step parenting, when it happens, yeah, yeah, there's always that stigma of, okay, these are not my kids, but I still love them and all that. And, especially for me, I think there's a lot of pressure and potential all this, unsaid guilt that goes out, especially if it's a man who's single who has no kids. Oh, this whole thing it's meant, the propaganda online for these things is meant to keep each gender thinking a certain way and keeping them from acting a certain way. Just me talking this, just me saying this, speaking like this, you're gonna have dudes that call me, they got the simp, or they'll try to say, oh, you just, they say for the women, they say a pick me and all this other stuff. But if you would just look at it holistically, it's two adults coming together, right? Especially if the two adults have a connection. There's nothing that we can say from the outside in saying that that's not authentic. The things that usually causes breaks in relationships and connections in these step parent situations is from the outside in. It's people talking from each side and trying to influence and saying, "Oh man, you're a sucker for this," or you'll never be. All right, there's so much things. There's so many things out there. I would just think about it. What is the factors that make people think this way? I mean, it's all up to you. It's all up to all to the person. And my thing is, when people always, there's people who, will just fight tooth and nail to say that step parenting is, you know, not a good look. No matter what, they refuse to see the other sides of it. Like, there are success stories, especially with, if it's situations where the children understand what it is, that made, if their biological dad or biological mom's not in the picture, if they still understanding what it is and have an open heart to the new parent, the step parent, those are success stories. But we don't like talking, because see, people don't like talking about those things. It's like the masses love chaos, the masses love heartbreak, heartache, and monetizing off, the beef, the gender beef. So just keep your eyes open, man. Stay woke. Just know that life is not so stagnant and static and predictable as a lot of these cats think it is. It just really isn't. So just a quick word, man. Just be good people. Always pay it forward. Always do right by your people, man. And all this extra stuff, man, I believe that it's just to where people are programmed, and social media is the main tunnel for it. I mean, I'm using it now, but yeah, you got to know for yourself what it is and what it ain't. So until next time, folks, it's your boy, Corey, aka Valedictorian. This is Head of Class Sessions, and we out.